welcome to another video to teach you about the wonderful world of Latin. Today's video will introduce interrogative pronouns and adjectives. These are the last of the Latin pronouns that you will learn. You've already learned demonstrative adjectives and pronouns, personal pronouns, reflexive pronouns, intensive pronouns, the relative pronoun, and today you will be learning the interrogative pronoun quis quid, meaning who or what. So, what is the interrogative pronoun? Well, just like the name implies, it's related to interrogations or when someone interrogates someone. There's lots of questions that are being asked. And an interrogative pronoun is that question word. It's a pronoun that helps you ask questions. You've already been introduced to this pronoun in Chapter 1 with the vocab word quid, as in the simple sentence, quid amas, what do you love? As you've learned more about Latin, you've seen that lots of pronouns and words function in different numbers and cases, and even different genders sometimes. And so this probably won't surprise you that with the interrogative pronoun, you can also ask quem amas, whom do you love, and quis te amat, who loves you. It just depends on the gender, number, and case of your interrogative pronoun. So let's look at all of those different gender, number, and case options. Here's your interrogative pronoun, quis quid. You'll see in the dictionary entry that there's quis and then quid. Quis is the masculine and feminine form. For the singular, all of the masculine and feminine forms are exactly the same. However, I listed them in separate columns because in the plural, the masculine and feminine forms are different. So as you copy these down, you will probably notice that a lot of these forms look very familiar to you. In fact, they're almost the same forms as the relative pronoun, though not exactly. Once you've finished copied these down, you can resume the video to learn more about translating sentences with the interrogative pronoun. All right. So how do we translate quis quid in sentences? Well, there's two sentences that can help us with this, quem liberas and quid facit. So the first task will be to find your interrogative pronoun. Since it's a question, usually it's the first word in the sentence. Sometimes there's a subordinate clause or a preposition that will precede the interrogative pronoun, but usually it's the first word in your clause. And so you'll see in this example, or two examples, that quem and quid are your interrogative pronouns. We don't need to find their antecedent for this pronoun because it's unknown. It's what we're asking about. We want to learn what this antecedent is in order to get the answer to our question and help us learn more. So the next task will be to parse the interrogative pronoun. Hopefully you've noticed that quem could be masculine, feminine, accusative, singular, and quid would be neuter, nominative, or accusative, singular. Now that we've parsed them, we need to translate our sentences. This is fairly simple with these two word sentences, and also when the other word has to be your verb. So I'll let you try this and then I'll show you the answers. Keep in mind that our interrogative pronoun means who or what. Okay, hopefully for quem liberas, you said whom do you free, keeping in mind that quem has to be your direct object because it's accusative, and your subject then will be in your verb, liberas. Then the other sentence, quid facit can be translated two different ways because quid could either be the subject or the direct object. So it could mean what makes or what does, even though that doesn't make all that much sense in English. The sentence could also mean what is she doing, or what is he doing, or what is it doing. It leads a bit more ambiguity with the interrogative pronoun. If we want to get a bit more specific with what we're asking, or even to provide a bit clearer translations, we can use the interrogative adjective, quae, quod. It's in sentences that are still questions because it's interrogative. You're still interrogating someone, still asking questions. And it could be in sentences like quod donum amas, what gift do you love? Quem puerum amas, which boy do you love? Quae puella te amat, which girl loves you? The forms of the interrogative adjective are quae, quod. As you copy these down, you'll notice that the masculine and feminine singular forms are not the same. And you'll notice that all of these forms are not the same as the forms of the interrogative pronoun. You will, however, notice that they are exactly the same forms as the relative pronoun, quae, quod. So this is helpful that you know or recognize most of these forms already. However, when you translate, you will have to think, is this the relative pronoun, the interrogative pronoun, or the interrogative adjective? So let's look at some sentences to help you translate the interrogative adjective once you finish copying this chart down. Okay, let's use two sentences that are pretty similar to the ones we looked at before. Quem populum liberas and quod factum facit. So, since we've already looked at similar things, we'll just parse the interrogative adjective. Quem, you'll notice, can only be masculine this time. It cannot be feminine. So it's masculine accusative singular. And quod could still be neuter, nominative, or accusative and singular. Notice that these are also usually the first words in the sentence, just because they're interrogatives that you want to know you're asking a question fairly early in the sentence. And since they're an adjective, you need to find the word that the interrogative adjective modifies. This will have the same gender, number, and case as the interrogative adjective because it's an adjective. So hopefully you have noticed that quem modifies populum and quod modifies factum. You also will know from this that we know a bit more about the answer to these questions, or you may even think of it as the antecedent of the interrogative adjective. Because the adjective quem modifies populum, we know that it's asking about a specific person, place, thing, or idea. Here, a populum. And in quod factum facit, we know quod modifies factum, so we're asking about a specific factum, that type of factum. So we know more about what we're asking about with the interrogative adjective than we knew with the interrogative pronoun. So now that we have that part clarified, let's translate these. So don't use who or what because those are pronouns. You'll want to use words like which or what. Okay. Hopefully, you translated our sentence as which population do you free and what deed is she doing? Using which to modify populum to narrow it down a bit more from just whom do you free. For quod factum facit, you'll notice it's narrowed down a lot more to what deed is she doing. It's narrowed down because what deed does or what deed makes doesn't really make sense. So what deed is she doing makes much more sense. You'll see that the logic of this sentence eliminates the option for nominative here. So it has to be neuter accusative singular. Once you've made sense of these sentences and think you understand, let's check your understanding with these questions. For the last two, the translating the sentences, make sure you think about whether or not this quo word is an interrogative adjective, an interrogative pronoun, or relative pronoun. Once you've completed these questions, please call me over. I'll check your work and then tell you your next step. Thank you.